What game is that?
This is
Kenshi.
Kenshi. The graphics may look a little off-putting to some, but the depth in the game is fairly large.
That? How do you spell
Okay,
that?
I'll spell it on chat.
That's probably for the... Alright.
That's how you spell it.
Cool.
It's a really fun game.
Yeah, so first of all, Brody, I don't believe I got back to you on the thing you asked me about before. Or your mic is in the other room, apparently. What did you say?
This is better.
It's much better. So, what did you say?
I was just saying I did the rules, then we just kind of moved on. Didn't really find anything out.
Yeah, so I stored that in my brain to, figure out later because I didn't have an answer right then and there. But I think, and first of all, it's the 30th today, early morning, as you all wake up again. I got the dates wrong because I was looking at some notes.
We lost
So
it.
Sorry, what?
Because we lost 2 days.
No, you haven't lost anything.
Just messing with you.
I know, and for that you will have a toaster drop on your face soon.
Is Brody gonna drop it to get his thing done?
No, in real life, I just throw a toaster at you.
It'll get here soon. That's the whole gravity thing.
I mean, that's fine. All right, so you all wake up after you all wake up after your casual sleep, or however drug-induced coma, if you want to call it that, find you. And yeah, Brody, you have a message on your compad once you eventually get around to checking that. But do you have that generator at hand somewhere?
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Yeah, could you give me a name, please?
Alright, it's loading.
Yes, I'm constant plan.
Right, Brody. You wake up and when you check your phone, you have a message from someone named Carter Helsing, apparently. I'm mispronouncing that.
Sounds right.
Problem is the text is super small and I'm sitting far away from my screen, so I can't really see what it says.
Carter Helsing.
Yeah. So you get a message from him, and it basically says, "I heard from a friend of mine that you were asking about our little side project. If you're interested in seeing it in action, we're on Charnes performing on the 1st of April. Bring some friends." Do you respond to that, or do you just put it in your pocket for later?
So I'll message back and say it'll be
All right.
ban. Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if they. Well, I'm not going to tell them that the ban's lifted. They don't need to know that we're. Well, I'll say they don't need to know we're on New Eden, but if he heard from his friend is on New Eden, so. I'll just tell him there.
All right. Yeah, you get a thumbs up emote after you send it. And there is also an address, planet side address for on Shardness. So if you want, you can write that down. Otherwise, I can drop it in a handout.
I can just write it down.
All right. So Ben, well, you do anything in the morning now that you have woken up?
I'll go speak to the specialist to see if they're done or if they need more time. That's about it. And if they're done, I'll get a report of what's going on.
Yeah, so what they tell you is basically they have managed to repair most of the internal trauma, most of the internal health trauma, but some of the memories are blocked or suppressed to the point where it's not currently possible to retrieve them under these conditions. Like in this place, they would need a special facility for that, special equipment and all that.
All right. How long is that going to take?
Weeks or months, depending.
All right. So I guess for now, call my other sister and let her know the situation, and see if we can set up the secure facility for her to get treatment if she needs to to work on things, and maybe see what the hell is going on with the attack on our family, basically. Because you said well, right now her mental state is fine, or is it still messed up?
I mean, she's, as far as you know, as far as they can tell, she is in fairly substantial shock still, and there is a lot of repressed memories what happened.
So you're saying she has to go to therapy like twice a week or something for the next month or two to get those memories back, correct?
It would be something a bit more intense than that.
But she doesn't have to stay there all the time. It'd be something she would go to like for an appointment, right?
Yeah, it would be maybe depending on the progress and all. It could be like a one-time being at a specialist clinic.
But how long would that take? That's what I'm saying.
Maybe a couple of days.
Okay, so yeah, maybe we'll do that afterwards.
And anything between a couple of days and a month, maybe. Depending on how intense and how long it's going to be.
As long as she's fine now, I'm gonna report to my other sister. Maybe tell her to meet us here.
And you do know they don't have this kind of specialist facility on New Eden. You would have to go to Theron for that.
Theron? Alright. So maybe we can drop her off at Theron with the specialists when we're leaving the planet, right? That might be good. Besides that, I guess let my other sister know and ask her and my assistant to meet me later on the day to talk about if we're getting attacked internally or just this one-time thing that happened. And that's it for now.
All right.
See what Ben is doing.
Set up an evening meeting.
Yes.
Or afternoon meeting.
Yeah, afternoon meeting or something.
So Ben,
like a lunch
what are you
meeting.
up to?
Yeah, so we're back at the trailer, or are we still at the ship?
We can go to the ship now, I guess. Since all of us rested up, we can go back to the ship.
So, as far as I understood it with the timeline, you were hanging out at the textile factory where you were temporarily crashing,
Mm-hmm.
and you slept there for the night, and then this is the morning when the proprietor is politely asking you to get the fuck out of their establishment.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm gonna take my sister and maybe go out in the city, just check on everything, and wait for everyone to meet up for the lunch meeting. I forgot what Brody said he was gonna do, and because we can't stay in the factory anymore.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll probably just be hanging out, sort of laying low, paying attention to the news, not looking for anything particular, but basically just reading about current events on the planet and watching the violence escalate.
Right. Yeah, there is some live coverage from the quote unquote war front. As it's not really much of a war. It's basically a bunch of people with semi-automatic rifles shouting angrily at people in grav tanks before they get more or less just vaporized by the vortex cannons. So it's not really much of a fight. It's more, inconvenience. But yeah, the news fairly bleak. It's the whole planet is basically in a civil war, so it doesn't exactly reflect on the tourism aspect of the planet. So maybe you see a note in the margin of the screen, for example, that gambling establishments are making an absolute killing on betting on the war. How long it's gonna take. The odds for how long the civil war is gonna last. It's just going through the roof. Probably billions of credits being exchanged for taking bets on this. But yeah, you do also see there is a note from the Rockford province. Maybe it's like a side passing because it's in the early morning. The Imperial offensive is breaking the twilight of the heavens with the artillery bombardment on the provinces to the east. And yeah, there is a small segment where they talk about Charles Hemming, and apparently he passed yesterday afternoon in a explosion in the garage, or in the garage where they worked. And yeah, he's the CEO and founder of King's Rain Motorsport.
That's interesting.
So there was an explosion in the warehouse.
Vehicle garage.
So, the vehicle garage that we were at, right? If I remember correctly. Someone's trying to clean up their tracks. Interesting.
Or someone put timed C4 underneath the fake car and then teleported away.
And I'm just saying, someone is trying to clean up their tracks.
Who would do such a thing?
I don't know.
Fucking
I don't know.
terrorist, mates. Fucking terrorist. That's who.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, I'm not being paid enough to be a terrorist.
What do you mean? We just got 84K. You'll get your cut. You'll get like 20 something K. Isn't that enough to be? Come on, terrorism's cheap these days. That's so fucked up. I'm sorry, FBI, CIA, or anybody that's listening, NSA. I didn't mean it. Let's continue. Just gotta cover my tracks, you know.
I'm just making a note about this.
Oh, good.
Hellforge was NSA the whole time.
Crowdfunded Al Qaeda win.
Okay, Hellforge is not from the US. He has to worry about them listening in.
How do you know this could all be a ruse?
I
All right.
plead the fifth.
I mean, you are literally the walking embodiment of the fifth, so don't worry. All right, so there is a man, and then after they make this sob story about, how great Charles was, and, all these rattling off all these achievements through his, 5-decade career as the CEO, it's a beautiful, beautiful sentimental piece, it evokes just the right amount of manly tears, And then one of they cut to an interview with a man, pretty much just a tan, a proper tan, suntan, square yaw to the point, where you can use his face as pure geometric angles in mathematics, as an example. And yeah, his name is Jackson Harris, and he's the first seat driver for King's Reign, and and he basically says in the interview, with just right amount of damp eyes, he says that he's gonna dedicate his victory tonight at the memorial race to his old friend and mentor, who passed away yesterday.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
Speak for yourself.
So yeah, that's pretty much the most interesting thing that's happening in the news, other than the live
Bombing
from the yeah, pretty much.
I just imagine that news coming on, and then my character is just stunned, like sitting on the couch holding his compad, and then in the stunned silence that follows, there's like a Princess Robot bubblegum ad comes on.
Death, destruction, Princess Bubblegum coming to stores near you.
It's a beautiful thing.
I would like to, as the day's passing, I would like to, send a message to both of them and be like, I'm going to speak to my sisters and see if we can find a contact at the Chamber of Commerce that one of you wants to go, or one or both of you want to accompany me to see if we can lift this ban on our ship later in the day, around 3 or 4. When did you have to go, Brody? I forgot. You said you had to go somewhere for the...
It's on the 1st.
On the 1st, so that's in 2 days. All right. So we have 2 days to basically walk around. Sounds good to me.
Assuming we get cleared to leave.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. We have at least 2 days to fuck around. And then if we get cleared to leave, then we can leave as soon as you're done with your thing. If not, then we have to just do other things, which isn't a problem.
Right, Brody, I sent you a thing. Correction on it. So unless so after you Ben, after you have a look at the news, is there anything else you want to do, or should we just fast forward to what Val is doing because she has some stuff to do?
I think we can go ahead and fast forward. Don't do anything of note after that.
All right. Yeah, Val, you know the public office of the chamber is open between 10 to 3 p.m. 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
I'd say around 11 or 12, I'll be having a meeting with my sisters. And after that, I'll call up Ben and Brody to see if we can meet up, if one of them wants to come with me and speak to Commerce.
All right. So, what do you want to do with this meeting then? Are you just gonna have a quick lunch,
yeah, just a quick meeting just to discuss, mainly discuss if we're getting attacked at the moment by the New Dawn Syndicate or any of their subsidiaries, any of their controllers. If we're getting attacked internally, maybe right at this moment, if they're trying to do something tricky, if we see any of that, and if not, is it make sure that I tell my sisters to hire extra bodyguards and hire some kind of psychic teleporters if they can find some to get them out of whatever their pinch is. Maybe someone with someone on the underground. And I'll leave that up to them. A lot of these. Very average roll.
all right. So there is a lot of plates you're spinning there.
What does that mean?
All right. No, you asked them to do quite a lot, but yeah, as far as they know, there haven't been anything more since the last one, last big thing.
And the kidnapping.
I mean that's the thing. Yeah. They haven't retaliated for you basically snatching without paying.
All right. I mean, again, they can't retaliate because I didn't do anything wrong. Plead the fifth. Besides that, then yeah, just make sure I tell them to make sure they they have bodyguards and try and stay in secure locations, places that I've been to, so I can always come to them for aid, somewhere in maybe the main business building or in our house. What are you talking about? What bomb? We didn't blow up a bomb. I don't know what you're talking about. Baker. There was no evidence left behind. But besides that, yeah, one last thing I'll ask them after I tell them to make sure they're secure is, uh, tell them to secure our finances, make sure they're being hidden away very well, just in case we get attacked again. Don't want to lose all our financing, and right now continue business as usual. Try not to attract any attention because of all the bad things going on around New Eden right now. We don't want to attract any unwanted attention, especially from the government officials. And before I go, I ask if one of them knows any contacts in the office Office of Commerce that can help us try and get this this ban lifted, so we can get out of here because I still have business to do off planet. One mainly being is try and get Noel into a facility in Therion, and two being is still find my father's killer.
Right. Yeah, so they they make some quick notes and send off, and before the end of the lunch is done, you have a confirmation that that there is a couple of more security guards arriving shortly to keep things tip top.
We got more security. They don't know we're not getting attacked at the moment. What was it else? Do they know anybody in the Chamber of Commerce that can help us? I haven't been here for a year, so my contacts are a little less than. And if not, I can always roll a connect and see if I remember someone there. They can't find.
Mom, do you have the generator up again?
Yep.
Give me a
Just
name,
keep
please.
that off at all times. Make it a nice name. Short little. Maxwell Frank. Not bad.
Yeah, so your sister refers you to a Duke Maxwell Frackers. Or Frax, or Frakes, or however the fuck you pronounce the last name. I don't know. Lord Duke Maxwell is in charge.
He's Duke. Okay.
Yes, Duke.
And we know him. You know, my sister knows him, right? So I can just go talk to him. Right.
I mean, they know each other well enough as one would if one has attended cocktail parties together in the past. You know.
They flirted.
Acquaintances, but
okay.
no, they know each other well enough that if you mention that, hey, I'm this person's sister, then you can probably cut in queue rather than have to wait for 8 hours in line.
All right. Yeah. Then I'll conclude the meeting done unless they have any questions or concerns.
No, I don't think they have anything. I think any detail that needs to be ironed out can be done with the associates.
And I did ask my main secretary to be along with the meeting and let her know that, tell her to, take care of my side of the work while I'm trying to, iron out all these little things. And if she needs anything, she knows how to contact me. And please contact me immediately. All right. Yeah, as soon as the meeting's done, then I'll contact Ben and Brody and let them know that I have a contact in the Chamber of Commerce named Maxwell Rakes, and see if one of them or both of them want to accompany me to a meeting with him.
Yeah, I'll come along. I have nothing better to do.
Brody?
I doubt I'll be of much help, but I might as well go, right?
Yeah, if you have nothing else to do, it's your choice. Duke Maxwell III, Lord Scribe of the Ministry of Commerce. He's the Duke of the Harry Potter. I don't know why every time I see Ministry of Commerce, I just think of Harry Potter.
Does this mean he's like the head nerd?
Yeah, that's exactly who he is.
I mean,
don't call him that in the face, though.
The smaller of the heads, because Archduke would be the biggest head of the two.
He's the assistant calculator.
Yeah, he has the second to largest calculator in the department.
He doesn't have a protractor with him, though. That's why he's not the Archduke. Yeah, bring that protractor.
And he is the third of his name rather than the first, so that's standing.
All right.
But yeah, you have his personal. You can contact his personal secretary and book a meeting.
Yeah, that's what I'll do that.
Yeah. So yeah, you get assigned 4:30, so it's after hours. You can come in when there aren't as many people.
Perfect. All right, I'll let everybody know the meeting's at 4:30. If you guys want to either meet me, or I can just get you guys. I do instead of just teleporting everywhere because I'm just getting tired. I want to relax a bit. I'm gonna hire a limo to drive me around. See the sights and all. I haven't really got to just relax for a bit. The limo that the guy that was driving us, or my family limo, get him back.
Right. I do believe his name was George.
George. Right. Yes, I called George up. I let him know I'm back in the capital. I will be
Yes.
needing his services.
I have actually written that down. George, Val's butler and limo driver.
George. All right, good. Did I write that
Yeah,
down?
so he shows up maybe 10 minutes later with a shiny black limo, stretch limo, obviously, with discreet
course.
armor platings. All right, so are the two of you tagging along on this meet as well, or is it just Val?
I believe it's a
Yep, I'm tagging along.
Yeah, I figured it's better to ask twice, because tend to, whenever all of you are talking, I tend to write down some stuff as well. So multitasking is not my strongest suit.
Yeah.
All good. So we'll be all going to the meeting. Try and convince him. Maybe he likes to talk about cars. He's a nerd, so I don't know. And Brody might be helpful there. If not, then I can speak talk to him.
So yeah, you arrive at the office, and on the dot, 4:30 p.m., the door swings open, and the herald announces you to Duke Maxwell as he is sitting in his office.
Now, before we got there, I asked my butler / limo to get these guys a few tuxes and myself a dress because we don't want to look like bums going in there. Presentation.
Yeah, you all get dressed up in something suitably fancy for your status. How comfortable it is, however, it's entirely up to you. I mean,
it's new.
However
comfortable.
However comfortable Brody and Ben are in tux.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that. I feel good. Excuse me. I mean, I'd say a suit, not an actual tux, because I feel like tux would be a little too much for this occasion. So just a normal suit, tie. Got Ben a black suit, white shirt. I got Brody a blue suit with a pink shirt and a red tie. But he'd be more comfortable with a blue suit. I don't know.
Why couldn't we have had matching suits like in Dumb and Dumber?
Did you want matching suits? I'm sorry. We'll get you matching suits.
Well, they weren't quite matching in the colors, but you know what I mean.
Well, at least it wasn't a tuxedo T-shirt,
Yeah. I mean, if
But,
I don't know if they own any suits. That's why I thought I'd take the initiative. They don't look like guys that own suits.
Okay, you make all the necessary preparations, and on the dot, you're ushered into the office of Duke Maxwell. And yeah, the office itself is high ceiling room. It's maybe 30 square meter. It's fairly spacious.
Nice.
Dark wood panel walls. 3 large windows with dark crimson curtains, probably crushed velvet curtains behind. The desk itself is like 400-year-old oak, dark wood. polished to a mirror sheen or shine. And
All right.
yeah, the Duke himself sits behind it. It's an older gentleman wearing the ceremonial robe of his office. It's a matte black silk robe with golden trims on it, and his house insignia on the left side of his chest, and then his badge of office on the right side.
Yeah, as soon as we enter, I go into full lady of the house mode, where all the noble gestures and everything. And as as we go to greet him, I bow and make sure that I look back at Brody and Ben, make sure they also bow, because I don't know how much they know about etiquette in New Eden.
Yeah, so I'm sort of being led by the nose through the whole occasion. So it takes me a second's hesitation to follow Vel's lead, and every now and then I'm just sort of squirming uncomfortably in my suit. But other than that, I manage.
And I'm acting very different than I normally act. I'm very ladylike in this occasion, so I don't know if they're very surprised by this or what. Because normally I'm more take charge, just no shits given, kill people. This time I'm very calm, collected, and nice. Oh yes, and I don't know if you want me to continue right.
No, no, it's fine. I'm just trying to find a picture of find the name of the actor I'm thinking of, envisioning this this Duke as he sits behind his desk.
I was just thinking of more like a British judge or something. That's what I was thinking of. I don't know why. Go ahead.
Doesn't matter. I can't find a bloody picture now. I had an idea, but I just can't find the damn thing.
Next time.
Unfortunate.
Was it from a movie?
Yeah, it's the not the groundskeeper, the custodian or janitor or whatever the hell from Harry Potter movies. I don't, Mr. Filch or
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mr. Finch. I think it's Finch, Mr. Finch. Is that what he looks like? Like this?
where's the yeah that's exactly the one with the 18th century powdered wig, like massive, like white curly wig, like a normal judge would have,
Yeah,
from
British
that era.
judge.
But yeah, with so that actor with that wig on, that's pretty much the image that I have in my head as you enter this room. That's what
You
you
know,
see.
Something like
he looks
this.
he looks a bit like Woody Harrelson.
Or you want to go more old? Something like this.
Yeah, that the second picture.
That's something like that? Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
All right. I thought so.
Yeah, so that's what he sits behind his desk and it looks up at you with glasses on, and yeah, he nods at you politely as you enter, and you show him the proper respects for his office.
Yeah, so yeah, I greet him properly, and ask and go, Lord Scribe or Duke Maxwell, whatever he prefers. I'm here on urgent matter. We have a large shipment due in Calixtus Prime very soon, and we're hoping we can get our ship, our flight, lifted so we can head out that way. I know this may be an inconvenience, but if you could help us out, it would be, a great pleasure. And if he doesn't know who I am, if I didn't mention it on the call with the secretary, I'll make sure, I mention I am the sister of so and so.
Yeah, yeah. I think he has. Uh, so there are a number of chairs in front of his desk. So if you want, you can all sit down. Otherwise, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
stand. It's quite
Oh,
up to you. And yeah, as you talking, you explained the issue at hand.
situation.
He taps a couple of keys on his key on his desk, inserted into the desk,
Mhm.
and there's a hologram, emits from the center of the desk, and there is basically your personnel file, the general information
Yeah.
about you specifically and the ship that you came with. Do you have like detailed specs of the celestial alarcity and
Yeah. I mean, he probably knows about
all
my
the
family and all that.
yeah, so family connections and like you can
Yeah.
probably swipe left and have the entire family tree going back a couple of thousand years or something.
All right, great. Yeah. I'm gonna mention just as he's looking through. Um, your, your your majesty or your greatness, your dukeness. Um, we
The proper
understand.
title would be Lord Scribe
Lord Scrap. Okay, that's
for
what I
when addressing him as his office. When you
thought.
address him personally, it's Duke.
Okay, so yeah, Lord Scribe. Yeah, I see that a lot of the shipments have not been moving through New Eden, and as a great, as one of the families that have lived in Newton for centuries, I know that our planet thrives through trade and people coming and going, and this must be very tough on you, being the Lord Scribe of the Ministry of Commerce. I can't imagine what you must be going through, and hopefully, with us being able to trade goods from here, we might be able to bring some more income back to New Eden. Sweet talking.
All right. And do you want to roll for that,
Yeah, I mean, if
or
it's gonna
should we
help, I'll
just
try and roll, I guess.
have it RP?
Yeah, if you want to RP, because I was trying to RP it.
All right. No, it's fine. And it says, I've heard, and it says, he looks at you like the hologram fades back into the desk after he takes a moment and looks at your file and he says, in recent days, I've heard a lot about your family and your business dealings. And while I may personally not agree with some of the decisions, it is entirely within the realms of the law to trade in such items, articles, as your family does.
I interject. I'm like, my family does do a great deal of business in Newton, just trying to keep the economy alive. I understand some of it may be a little unsavory, but somebody has to do it. And as we are one of the older you know families here, we're trying to keep everything within house, trying to bring New Eden into a new age as great as maybe Therion is, and compete with our sister planets.
Yeah, as you're talking, he leans back in his chair, and the chair is like it's a high back chair, so it's probably like a good like head and a half taller than he is when he leans
Mm.
back in it, and
Yeah,
it's heavily stuffed as well, so it looks really comfortable to sit in. Dark leather with comfortable like bolstered armrests.
yeah. As he's like looking through everything, just like when we're not really talking, I make sure to compliment his office, and if he has a picture of a family, and just compliment maybe his children or something, grandchildren.
Yeah, you do the whole trying to impress the official.
Yes, of course, as you normally do.
Yeah. Yeah, as you're talking, he leans back and contemplates, listen to what you're saying, and he says, as any noble family would, obviously you are more than welcome to earn a living as you see fit, as long as you abide by the king's law and Vector law, obvious. But what I've heard recently has caused some issues, and I would like to have an explanation as to why you see fit to leave in planet in the middle of an investigation.
An investigation on whom, if I may ask, sir?
There has been several incidents with your family name tied to it.
Uh, I have not heard any of these incidents, unfortunately. Is there anything you can, help me, clarify for me? And I can explain it to you as the best of my ability.
Yeah, so he taps a couple of keys on the desk again, and the hologram emits again. It's basically like size of maybe a 30-inch TV, that kind of size. It emits from the desk between where you're sitting and he's sitting, and there is so there's a couple of break-ins, reports of break-ins in the capital. There is some break-ins. There is a couple of assault and batteries. There is the kidnapping of your sister is marked as well, and then there is a couple of like small petty crimes that no one would really give a damn about.
So what I say, sir, I can see some of these. I want to assure you that I have actually been away trading throughout the galaxy for the past year. I have not had much dealings with what's going on in New Eden, unfortunately, and I do apologize for that. Things may have gone out of hand. Recently, we've had an incident where my sister was unfortunately abducted. She was returned to us safely, thank the gods or whatever entities people believe in here. Thank the king, emperor. And unfortunately, these petty crimes, it looks like there may have been something going on. I will personally look to it and make sure things like this don't happen again. I do apologize again for the behalf of my family, and I will make sure these things do not happen again. We are just trying to make an honest living, as do all the families that live here in New Eden. Honest being, yeah. So I will make sure people stay in line. We have hired extra security to make sure people do follow the laws of this land. And again, I would like to apologize for what has happened, but we do try to stick to the law to the best of our ability.
He, as he listens to you again, he leans back and lets the tidal wave of words, flow over him, and he says, "As it should be. We are all law-abiding citizens.
Yes,
Anything else would be a crime against the king."
of course, Lord Scribe. Crime against the king and the emperor himself.
There is another issue that has come to my attention, which makes your timely departure a bit of a problem.
That is, sir.
And he taps a couple of keys on the keyboard again and set into the desk. And this time there is not a hologram emitting on the table, but you hear from behind you the door open.
I look back and see who it is. To see who it is.
Yeah, so as you look behind you, as when you hear the door open, you see two people step in, both of which are in power armor, wearing mag rifle or holding mag rifles at the ready,
Mhm.
which is the shotgun based.
The mag rifle is the sniper. Well, it's pretty long range.
Or a slug thrower.
Oh, okay, all right.
Slug thrower is the railgun shotgun.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2 people in power armor step through. Their armor is purple or dark, deep purple with golden trims on it. And they flank the door as they come in, stand one to the right, one to the left of the door. And then behind them walks a person wearing a robe similar to the Lord Scribe, but slightly different. There is a different crest on the left side, and there's a different badge of office on the other.
Just as this is happening, I see the 2 men. I instantly, my instincts kick in because I've been in a very fight and flight situation the past few months to a year. As soon as I see them, I reach my hands out towards Ben and Brody and just be at caution in a very cautious state.
All right. And Brody, you see 2 people with power armor and weapons at the ready step into the room behind you. What's your reaction to this?
Yeah, so I'm basically going to slowly turn around and then look at all of them, and then turn back around to face the scribe, and then basically turn back around like I'm double checking, and then I just sort of visibly sort of start visibly shaking just a little bit, and then otherwise I'm waiting for it to see what Val does.
I'm gonna take a look back to see who came in, and I'm gonna face the scribe again, and then just wait to be teleported out when shit goes south.
I like how freaking I brought a drug addict that just keeps shaking all the time.
Well, he could be using it to make him look like he's afraid.
Of what? We don't know what to be afraid of yet. It might not be to be afraid of.
Normal people are afraid of people in power armors with shotguns.
Maybe I've seen too many of those people around lately.
Exactly, he's got an image to sell. If we're sitting here calm and collected, it makes it a little harder.
All right, yeah. So as soon as the people walk in behind them, do I recognize them?
Yeah, the man, you definitely recognize. You have seen him before several times, and none of them were pleasant times for you.
And who is this man?
So he's about maybe 180 or so 6 feet. He's mid-60s, short cropped white hair, and chest-length beard. So basically somewhere between the nipples and the belly button. That's roughly how long beard he has. White skin, pale white skin, like he doesn't seem the sun all too often. He has a bit gaunt face, dark rings under his eyes, like he's been not sleeping a lot lately.
Nobody else.
Yeah, like I said,
I've seen him in very
purple.
unpleasant situations.
Yeah, like I said, deep purple robes with golden trim. And you know this man to be Lord Hostus Decimus Patreus.
Of what family?
The Patreus family. One of the big 5.
The
one that you assaulted.
I didn't assault anyone.
I mean, allegedly, and the one who claimed responsibility for kidnapping your sister. He was the one in the video who told you that shit will go sideways for you if you don't cooperate.
Yeah, so I stand up, I bow to Lord Patreus, like, welcome, Lord Patreus. Interesting seeing you here. I sit back down. Again, very cautious thing, because I know what he has done already.
Yeah, so he
Did I ever speak to him directly, or was it always with the New Dawn Syndicate I was talking to?
You have never spoken to him directly.
Okay.
Any conversation has always been either between his adjutant,
Mhm.
some assistant of his, or through representatives of the New Dawn Syndicate.
Okay, good. All right.
So I think this might be the first time you have been in the same room as him. Like you've probably seen him at some event, some
Mhm.
court event or some such. But this is the first time you've been like in private room.
All right. Okay, I just, like I said, I'd stand up, bow, since he is a higher house than me, and I'll say, Lord Patris, and interesting seeing you here. Welcome.
Yeah. So he casually or slowly, with purpose, walks to where the Lord Scribe sits, like behind his desk, and the Lord Scribe gets up, offers the chair to him, and Lord Patreus sits down at the chair and then taps a couple of keys on the keyboard, and there's a hologram emits in front of you. And then this is what you're seeing now is an open police report into the several massacres and bombings that you have been committing
Allegedly.
as of late.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. And he says, "You have,
You've been a busy girl.
I have to say, I am somewhat impressed about of you have somewhat impressed me with your ability to cause harm to my business interests. This is what the local law enforcement has." And he just slowly slides it so you can see all the police reports. So it goes from like crime scene photos and like basically go through all the evidence that they have, that the local law enforcement have collected. And you see one thing you notice as you're looking at this: there is blood spatter, blood DNA stuff, some blood that I've collected, shows both Ben and yours, well, that they
Why?
have DNA on record. There's a couple of fingerprints and hair as well that they have, and then there is multiple shots of surveillance from the various,
How
cameras around the
clear are
area.
those?
Clear enough that anyone who knows what to look for would be able to tell it's the same people in each of them. Some are a bit more clear than others. So he's basically showing you all the evidence that the
Accusing you. He's showing me, or is he accusing me or anything?
No, he's brought them up on the
All right.
hologram in front of you on the
And
desk.
as he does that, I address him. Lord Patris, I am sorry to see that your business is suffering as late. I know the feeling. I just recently come back to New Eden to find that my business as well has been in the shambles. I do very much understand your position. Is there any way we can resolve this where both of us can be where it could be mutually beneficial for the both of us?
Yeah, he as you're talking, he keeps sliding the the pictures or the documents, and then there is the last one, the last page, I suppose, of the document, where a it's basically your face, and Ben's face on a police report, and then there is it's basically an arrest warrant, which basically says capture alive, preferably, but kill on sight if need be, if they resist.
Hmm.
And he says, I have not So far, it is my influence alone that keeps the Lord Magistrate from distributing these documents to the local law enforcement. I know what you've been doing. I have evidence. The Lord Magistrate have evidence. The halls of justice have all of this. They're just waiting for my word. If I want to, I can crush you and your worthless family. So instead of doing that, I will make you this deal. I will make you this offer. And if you refuse it, I will do everything I can. I will bring all my assets into play and I will crush you. And I'll make sure you will never exist. There will be no records of you existing on this planet, you or your family.
I take a long sip of the drink next to me.
I look. My demeanor changes very much from from very nice to very determined now, very a little aggravated. And I look at him and I say, Lord Petraeus, as you know yourself, the past few days have brought about events that have been very unpleasant for the both of us. My sister was kidnapped for no reason that I can see, tortured. He is now in a very fragile state. And you may have lost a few measly dollars, and I do apologize for that. But I do hope that with all the skills that I have, and maybe I can help you and your family come to understanding. And maybe we can work together to bring New Eden into a new dawn.
As you say that, he chuckles, like more in disbelief than actual amusement. And he says, I heard you were strange, and I also now know that you have some abilities that needs to be taken in consideration. So let me spell it out for you, seeing as you don't seem to grasp the finer points. This is my offer to you. Either you take everything you own and get the hell off my planet, or I will use every asset I have, every friend, every alliance I have, everything I can possibly do to make your life a living misery. And I have the law on my side if you don't get the hell off my planet. That's the deal. Get lost or get dead.
Sir, it is a very interesting deal. Can I ask you one question? And as I said that, I just instantly just say, you are allied with a New Dawn Syndicate that lately have been less than effective in their means of doing things. I control just as much space and just as many people as them. And with my family's help, I can bring you even more wealth than you can imagine. Instead of allying yourself with people like that, why not ally yourself with people like me? Where, with my help, we can both prosper instead of just casting me aside and losing yourself. A great ally.
So I think as you finish that, he stands up and starts walking towards the exit again. And he says to the Lord Scribe without looking at him, show them the last bit, show them the last video. And as he briefly stops at the door between his two guards and looks over his shoulder, and he says, you have until the 1st next month to get out. Otherwise, this is war. And everyone in the sector will see just how you wage, how you continuously screw things up. And yeah, with that,
Now, is it
he
an
leaves.
attack on me or my family? Because all the videos are just of my family, of me, not my family, right?
Sorry, what did you say here?
Sorry. So all the videos and things he was showing is all the things that I've done, right? Not my family, and then just basically what I've done, all the bad things that I personally have done.
So you haven't seen the video yet?
Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, that was, he said that to the Lord Scribe to show them the last video file.
Okay, go ahead. I would like to see that. I thought the last video was just like us blowing up the thing, but yeah, it might be something else.
Yeah, and he basically said that after he told the Lord Scribe to show you the video, he basically said, "Get off my planet, or this is war." And with everything he showed you so far, you know, if that came into the wrong hands, that could be pretty damning.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I guess just let's watch the video.
Yeah, and with that, he leaves the room, and the two guards leave as well. The door closes behind them, and yeah, the Lord Scribe sits down, just hits play, and yeah, for 3/4 of the screen hologram shows basically highlight reel of how you first attempted to steal the car. Then there is some footage of you stabbing the guy, unconscious guy.
There's no way there's any footage of that.
So hear me out. First, it's the when you attack the truck, when you block the road and all that. It's basically just highlight reel of the events that led up to this,
Okay.
that happened. And from the perspective that you see things, it seems to be recorded from either helmet or shoulder or chest mounted camera
Of who? The guy that was inside the truck?
of all the solar. The camera perspective changes.
Yeah, okay.
The camera position remains the same, but there's multiple cameras that have been capturing this, so it's just edited together with a very short, maybe like 4 to 5 second highlight reel, and yeah, that's it basically. Like it shows the attack and everything. It shows also the hostage rescue with, and then there is just the aftermath of the warehouse, like a big, massive crater where the warehouse was as the C4 exploded.
Yeah. All right. So again, basically what I thought, it just shows me causing all these things. Me, Ben.
Yeah, it shows you, Brody, and Ben causing all this nonsense.
Okay.
And also, you did see, blood analysis, so they have at least Ben and you confirmed as you were involved in this. And then with the all the video highlights, face and all, even though you wore a disguise, there is still the blood and enough video evidence to make a positive identification.
For next time, I have a question. Can Brody literally telekinesis blood out of everything? Like you can just pull blood? Can you just pull it out of like let's say that like blood spills all over the ground. Can you just pull it all? If he focuses on the blood itself?
I mean, maybe.
I mean, it worked with that animal shit.
Because I'm thinking that might be like a cleanup, if we ever do something like this again, because obviously we fucked up a lot of. If we ever do something like this, we can do like a Passover and just clean everything up quickly with your telekinesis and my teleportation. Another time, obviously.
That could certainly be something you could do, or try at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, after the highlights, 4 to 5 seconds highlight ends, and you see, like I said, that covers 3/4 of the screen, and the third bit is basically the official documentation releasing your ship.
Okay.
And as the video ends, like the the document comes into full focus on the entire screen, and there is basically, you see the Lord Scribe in real time, sign his name and basically stamp of approval on it. So your ship is good to go. And he also says after he approved your request for leave, he says that Lord Proteus asked me to tell you that there will be a longer video shown to the king, the court, and spread around the sector if if you decide to stay.
Okay. If that's the case, then yeah. So basically, he wants me to be gone. Not Does he want my family to be gone or just me?
He specifically said your entire family off the planet.
Right? But what did my family do? He basically kidnapped my sister for no reason that I can see here. Isn't that correct?
Well, regardless of the reason, I think that's what he was wanting us to do.
No, I understand, but did I see a reason for him to have kidnapped my sister or no?
I mean, that is entirely up to you. Like, I can't tell you how you should be connecting the dots.
That's the thing. I'm trying to think because I can't see why he would have kidnapped her unless he did that, because he did that before we ever went for the car.
Tell you what, why don't you roll me an intelligence check here?
Just an intelligence
Yes.
check?
2d6 plus whatever your intelligence is.
0. All right, guys. Give me luck. Fuck. They're gonna reroll.
You literally cannot figure out.
I know, that's the problem. RNG doesn't want to help me figure it out.
I mean, do you have any of those plot points left?
I do. Can I use a plot point? F it. Let's go.
I mean, if you have any.
Well,
They refresh every time you level up.
All right, there we go. A 7.
What were you saying, Traffic?
I was just going to say before I rolled if there was any way we could give him a bonus for the roll.
Oh. Wait, I mean, I got a 7, so I don't know if that's going to help. It wouldn't help. It would not have helped the first time. If I got 2 bonus.
I mean, how would you help then? Because you have
connected clues.
I don't know how much you would know about the situation, but from what you've overheard, it seems like a very powerful person is a bit pissed off that someone is interfering with his business.
So the problem was, right? Kidnapping is illegal in New Eden, correct? Even if it's nobles?
I mean, it entirely depends on who is doing it.
What do you mean? Like, it's the law, right? So in the law, if it says no murder, there's no murder, there's no kidnapping unless. Is it okay for nobles to kidnap other nobles?
So kidnapping noble, no.
Okay.
But noble kidnapping serf or slave, that would be
fine. So basically what he did by kidnapping my sister is 100% illegal. That's what I'm trying to get at. Because he's a noble. Yeah.
Yeah, but is one illegal crime really going to outweigh all the illegal crimes we did?
I mean, did we do anything really bad? We killed people that were peasants. We killed people that attacked us. We stole, which stealing, I guess, if it's that bad. Right? We didn't kill a noble. We didn't kidnap a noble.
Do we still have video proof of him admitting he did it?
I still have the video message that was sent from his house.
His house or him?
It was his house. So, I mean, unless his house is going rogue and working behind his back. right?
He could easily throw someone under the bus and say someone did it without his permission, and then what?
And then I'm going to say I had to retaliate because of this. That's the only reason all of this happened. So, like, I have no problem. Let's say they ask us to leave New Eden. We get out of New Eden, right? I can't come back. But now I have to relocate the whole family business and everything. So it would. And he's giving me what? Is he giving me 2 days or is he giving me a month and 2 days, Hellforge?
So it's the 30th today, and he gave you to the next month, so 2 days.
So yeah, that's like, think about that.
Technically 1.5 because it's like 4:30.
Yes. So yeah, so I have 1.5 days to get out. So me and my whole family business have to get out in 1.5 days, or I have to get out in 1.5 days. If it's only me, I have no problem because we can just hop on the ship and get out. Right?
I mean, it seems a bit unreasonable to expect, uproot an entire noble family and just get the hell off a planet in less than 2 days.
Yeah. So he is just talking to me then.
I mean, he specifically said your entire family. Those were the words he used. But whether or not he was just super pissed at you for interfering or something else, don't really know.
Okay, so then after we leave the office and all that, I make sure I contact him on his secretary, whoever, and let him know that I have decided I will be leaving New Eden and surrendering my assets to my sisters and let them work. I will not be back, and in the end say hope that satisfies your anger or your rage, satiates your rage. That's the words I want to use.
All right. So I just want to point this out because you did roll a 7. So of everything you know about him, he has. So I'm just gonna let you have this knowledge.